Hey everybody, what's going on? And welcome to Guns N' Roses Central, and we're back with another episode of Guns N' Roses True Story. So the song we're talking about is from the Spaghetti Incident, everyone's favorite album, and the song we're discussing is Ain't It Fun. It's probably my favorite song off the Spaghetti album because I think it's one of their best covers that they've done. The song is notable for a couple different reasons. The song features a guest vocalist, Mike Monroe, and the song has never been performed live. So the song was originally recorded by a band called the Dead Boys back in the 70s. So the song appeared on their 1978 album We Have Come for Your Children. And as I said before, the Guns N' Roses cover of Ain't It Fun features guest vocalist Mike Monroe of the Finnish rock group Hanoi Rocks, who was a huge influence on Guns N' Roses. And Axl Rose actually made a guest appearance in Mike Monroe's video for Dead, Jail, or Rock and Roll, which I've linked to below. So contrary to popular belief, Ain't It Fun was actually the first song released as a single from the Spaghetti Incident. So it was released to coincide with the album's release back in November of 1993. It was actually released on November 20th, 1993, and it charted reasonably well. So these are the charts that, these are the countries where it charted in. It charted number 8 on the US mainstream Billboard rock charts. It charted in the UK, Sweden, Switzerland, Norway, New Zealand, Netherlands, Ireland, Germany, Finland, and Belgium. Now, the single for Ain't It Fun also featured Down on the Farm and Attitude as well. According to an interview that Axl did in 1991, he said, "We also do a tribute to Stiv Brothers. We do Ain't It Fun with Mike Monroe, and it was really strange because when we did it, both of us in certain places without even trying ended up sounding a bit like Stiv. Candles would flicker, bells would ring for no reason, and we were like, Stiv's here." So Stiv was actually the vocalist for the punk rock group the Dead Boys, and he actually passed away in 1990. So during mid 1990, he was actually struck by a taxi in Paris during a bank holiday. He was taken to a hospital, but he reportedly left before seeing a doctor after waiting several hours and assumed he wasn't injured. So reports indicate that he died in his sleep as a result of a traumatic brain injury. So Batters, who was a fan of rock legend Jim Morrison, had earlier requested that his ashes be spread over Morrison's Paris grave, and that his girlfriend complied. In the director's commentary of the film Polyester, which starred Batters, the director and producer John Waters stated that Batters' girlfriend Caroline confessed to him that she snorted a portion of Stiv's ashes to be closer to him. In a separate interview that Axl did with Slash on Rockline in 1994, he said it was also a tribute to Stiv, and Mike Monroe, who guest sings on the song from the band Hanoi Rocks, was a really good friend of Stiv's, and he turned me on to a bunch of Dead Boy stuff. I already knew the song, and it was a song I liked and got me these tapes and all these things. And I was like, why don't we just play it? And it was kind of a tribute for him because it was really hard on Mike and the other people in his life when Stiv did pass away. So in the same interview, Slash said, "We were talking about it earlier, that the lyrics to the song pretty much sum up where we came from as a band, like, especially on the surface, and when I hear it, I just go, yeah, okay, check, check." Another interview Slash did in 1994, he had this to say about the song. He said, "Stiv Batters died, and we're like, I don't know, hanging out somewhere in LA or New York or something, and we thought, let's do a Dead Boy song, and that was that." He also said it was Mike Monroe's idea to do a Dead Boy song as a tribute to Stiv Batters. So I want to give a big shout out to one of my Finnish subscribers, and I hope I'm saying his name right, Tawny or Tony. I apologize if I'm butchering it, but he provided me with a story about the song Ain't It Fun from Mike Monroe's book. So here's what Mike Monroe had to say in his book. He said, "Axl didn't make the band practice, so I jammed with Matt, Duff, and Slash and made the song ready." Michael split the lyrics about 50-50 for him and Axl. He said Axl had just broken up with Stephanie Seymour, so I gave him the line, "Ain't it fun when you tell her she's just a C word? Ain't it fun when she spits and leaves you on the bum?" And for myself, I wanted the part, "Ain't it fun when you've broken up every band that you've ever begun?" Michael says and smirks. When it was time to record the vocals, Axl said that Mike sang the part so well they wouldn't need Axl at all. So Mike Klink, who was the producer, came to Axl and said, "But look how well Michael split the lyrics to you both," and that apparently made Axl excited again. When they started recording the process for the vocals, Michael put on candles around him, and Axl made a blessing ritual to respect the dead friend Stiv Batters, who was the singer of the Dead Boys. So in 1986, Guns N' Roses created a vanity label called Uzi Suicide. So in 1994, the label actually released albums by Finnish glam rock band Hanoi Rocks, and Mike Monroe was actually asked about how that actually impacted the band. So he was basically asked, the Guns N' Roses members were very much into Hanoi Rocks, and they released your European back catalog in America on their Uzi Suicide label through Geffen Records. How did that benefit you or the others financially? He said, "Sure, we got some kind of advance, but it was mainly great to have those records available in the States. I'll always be grateful to Guns for releasing them. However, Hanoi was not functioning at the time, It didn't help sales. Then again, Hanoi's greatness never was really reflected in the record sales so far. Besides, when I did their single Ain't It Fun, it was a spontaneous kind of thing for Stiff Batters. They flew me over to LA to do the sax and harp on Use Your Illusion album, which I did on the song Bad Obsession. So while I was there, I was playing in the car. I made a tape compilation of the Dead Boys for Axl, and when he heard Ain't It Fun, he was like, wait a minute, because he told me he'd never heard of the Dead Boys. Now, he said, that's amazing, you have to know the Dead Boys. So he says, I seem to remember this song, it's great, let's get the band together, let's do the song, let's do it as a duet. Well, effing brilliant. In memory of Stiff Batters, he had all these plans for a video which never happened. However, I said all I want for this is to put in memory of Stiff Batters, just to make people aware of it for Stiff. And in the end, it ended up on the Spaghetti Instant album. When we did it, it was magical. We sang it live together. We did a little ritual and lit candles around us because he used to do that. He was a magician in one way. However, we did the song and it was like three of us were singing. It wasn't a duet. It was like Stiv's voice was coming through Axl. In places, he sounds just like Stiv. It gives me the creeps. It gives me the chills when he said, ain't it fun when you feel like you gotta get a gun? And in a couple of moments, it's just like Stiff. I was like, wow, he's definitely there. The guy who actually wrote the song died. Lahner and Cheetah Chrome wrote this. Peter Lahner was the Dead Boys roadie. It was the only song he ever wrote in his life, and then he died. And when the Dead Boys did the record, they recorded the guy in some hallway. He was drunk on the floor one night saying, I'm dead, I'm dead. So at the end of the Dead Boys version, when it fades out, you can hear the echo of the guy going, I'm dead, I'm dead. So Axl heard that and was like, F man, maybe we shouldn't do this song. And I was like, no, Stiv was about love. This is the right thing. It couldn't be any more right than this. So all I asked was that we mention Stiff Batters' name on the record. That's great, and spell my name right. Because my manager at the time was like, this will be big time then. Should I speak to Guns N' Roses' manager? I was like, don't do nothing of the kind. If I catch you talking to anybody about this, I'll kill you, you bastard. You're not going to F this up. I want to make sure the song gets on the album, and that's it. I didn't get anything for it except a normal session fee for playing in the studio, so it's never been a money-making scheme. So Dead Boys member Cheetah Chrome was interviewed, and he was asked about Guns N' Roses' cover version of Ain't It Fun. So he was asked, did you think Guns N' Roses did a good version of Ain't It Fun? It certainly opened up your music to a whole new audience. He said, I think they did a great version. It struck me how close they kept it to the original. That's a tough song to sing. You need to have been through a bit to pull it off, and they pulled it off. Now, Slash actually revealed in an interview back in 1994 that Guns N' Roses were planning on doing a Hanoi Rocks tune on the Spaghetti Incident. He said, we did a Hanoi Rocks tune but decided not to put it on the album because we didn't want to give Andy McCoy, who was the former Hanoi Rocks guitarist at that time, any money. Because according to Slash, McCoy's an asshole. The basic track was done, but we never did any vocals on it. We also recorded a basic track on Iggy's Down on the Street, but we didn't finish that either. We stuck with raw power. So the song from Hanoi Rocks that Slash was referring to was Beer and a Cigarette. And in 1993, Mike Monroe actually joined Guns N' Roses on stage with Ronnie Wood when Izzy was back in the band, when Guns were playing in Milton Keynes back in 1993. And in 1993, Slash, Mike Monroe, and Dizzy Reed actually recorded a cover of Steppenwolf's song Magic Carpet Ride for the Coneheads soundtrack. And here's a clip from MTV's Headbangers Ball.
Don't know what we find. Why don't you come with me, little girl? I'll make it carpet ride.
The Coneheads was that great old Saturday Night Live skit. Do you remember? And they're making a movie out of it. And they called me up and said, would you want to contribute a track to it for this particular scene? They call it the growing up montage, where this little girl that they have that's born on Earth is growing up on Earth with her cone and everything. And then she eventually turns into a punk rocker, and she's got a cone, a safety pin in her cone. That was the selling point for me to get involved in this project. Everybody usually records, like if they think Steppenwolf, they think Born to Be Wild. And I've always wanted to do this song, so when the offer came in, I was like, now's my chance to record this song and get the band together to do it. I hope everybody likes it when it comes to it.
You don't know what we find. Why don't you come with me, little girl? I'll make it carpet ride. You don't know what we even see. Why don't you tell your dreams to me? Fantasy will set your brain. Close your eyes, girl. Look inside, girl. Let that sound take you away.
It's one of the few times a keyboard player can actually compete with the guitar player on the distortion element. That's a lot of fun. I bought Steppenwolf's like greatest hits, whatever. You know, it's very young, And that's one of the first bands that really turned me on to B3. It was like Steppenwolf and Deep Purple and Booker T, and the organ thing, you know.
We got Sammy on the bass.
Sammy?
Izzy, Sammy Alpha from Hanoi Rocks. And Izzy. Izzy's gonna do?
Izzy's gonna be here tomorrow.
Back
to
in
do
background.
background. He
So-
hates talking to Izzy anyway.
So the band is gonna be called Hanoi Roses.
I was trying.
Guns and Rocks.
I came up with a name.
Hanoi Rocks.
I came up with a name. I took all our names and put them together, and it came out with Sammy's.
So, Hanoi rock singer Mike Monroe did an interview back in 2004 where he claimed that Axl Rose was scared of sharing the stage with us. So, according to him, he did an interview where he was asked if he's still friends with Axl. Monroe said, "Well, I was very friendly with him whenever we bumped into each other, but I haven't talked to him in a long time. I speak to Slash regularly. I'm closer with him than I am with Axl. A weird thing happened when we played in Japan a couple of years ago. Axl was headlining the show with the new Guns N' Roses, the hired Guns N' Roses. I never realized how much chemistry the original band had until I saw Axl with those hired guys. They were just sort of lost on stage. When Axl heard that Hanoi Rocks was playing the same festival that he was headlining, he got nervous and said he would not play on the same stage as us on the same day. I checked it out with many different sources, and he thought the audience would react more to us than him. That was a great compliment and a good favor too, because it leaked to the press and people were like, Hanoi Rocks must be really great if Guns N' Roses are shaking in their pants. I did get along with him and he was very nice to me. I didn't think we were that good of friends until he was nice enough to give us that kind of promotion. I watched him on the monitor on the second day of the show and the guitar player Buckethead was just so mediocre. It was like watching a cover band and they looked ridiculous. They had no connection with the audience. I told Slash that myself, and that you were really shining by your absence. They weren't going to do any new songs. It was all old ones." That does it for this episode of Guns N' Roses True Story. I hope you guys enjoyed that. Please let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. And hit the like button if you enjoyed the contents of this video and you want to see more stuff just like it. And be sure to subscribe if you love Guns N' Roses. And you guys can also go support me on Facebook and Twitter, as well as Patreon. The links to all those channels are down below. Take care.